Nobody is born a natural trader. I thought this would be a topic that I would like to debunk on this channel before we go into anything else, kind of seeing this as the first episode of our mental mastery, a topic that is severely underrated in this concept of trading and that I believe can be really built upon, especially for beginner traders or individuals that are looking to start trading. And on that note, no one is born a natural trader. I like to see that as a good thing because you are able to build upon the foundation that you bring when you start trading. The mindset that you bring into the trading space when you just begin is severely flawed. It is flawed because you are going to go at war essentially with yourself. You're going to see this mirror in front of you, which is very difficult to face when you are the one to blame for the mistakes that you see in your performance. Instead of being able to point the finger at external factors, it is often enough your flawed decision making that you can point the finger at. And this is something that many traders, a couple of my students also struggle with, is that psychological bottleneck, right? It's that moment where you realize that trading is a lot more than just understanding an entry model pattern, but also how you react once you are in a trade, right? If we were to be able to put this under an umbrella of, let's say, the common mistakes that lots of traders make in their first couple of years in their trading career, often enough you will see people balancing that weighing scale between fear and greed. It's the most common topic when it comes to trading psychology, and very much rightfully so. Because, let's be completely honest, we've all been there, that you're in a position way too deep, you've got way too much risk on the table, and you are getting out of the position way too early because you are seeing numbers that you haven't seen before. Vice versa, on the opposite side of that scale, you sometimes decide to realize that you cut your risk too early, right? Not letting the trade do the full distance that you've set up in terms of the risk that you've allowed the trade to take. On the other hand, you also have moments where you completely neglect your entire trading plan and you remove, let's say, your stop losses, and just kind of go into this haywire mode where you remove your stop loss and just start hoping for the best. The moment that you start hoping in your trading career is often enough a wrong signal when you are kind of telling yourself, fingers crossed, that this trade works out. That is often enough a moment that you should realize that you are deviating from your strategy, that you are deviating from the rules that you should set out for yourself. And it's much easier said than done. I believe that that is the biggest learning curve that anyone can have in their trading career, is the psychological improvement that you will have as a human being, especially when you understand that you are to blame for majority of the wrong actions you are taking in your trading career, right? You come into this space with the best of intentions, with the monetary gain as the goal, as the starting goal that everyone has, that might have lured them into this space in the first place, and then essentially you will stay in this space for the whole learning curve and the experiences you make along the way, where the monetary gain will be a byproduct of your consistency. And the moment you realize that that is the name of this game, the way that it clicks, is the moment you will make majority of the progress, especially on a psychological note. This is because when you realize that majority of your improvement doesn't lie with better understanding your technicals, you will have a strat, right? If you're doing it correctly, you will seek guidance in an aspect of someone that has achieved the results that you want to achieve and becoming this sponge and absorbing all of their knowledge. So that should be autopilot, right? Understanding the technicals and understanding the edge, if you're in the right hands, should be something that you can trust blindly. The biggest pitfall is where you need to understand who you are as a trader and the decision making and the actions you take as a trader when trying to follow this edge. Obviously, no edge is plug and play, and it's going to deviate and be kind of tailored to your personality. But that personality coming into this trading space is initially flawed. Initially flawed as in, as mentioned before, you as a human being and as an individual, you're not wired correctly to be, printing out monetary gains out of thin air. It is actually a very weird concept if you do it correctly, that you are, right, if you're doing CFDs and you're trading with a broker, that it's actually, you think about it a little bit too much and you're like, wait, how am I actually doing this, right? Essentially, you need to realize that the detachment from the outcome is going to lead to majority of the improvements in a very linear progression as a psychological human being that needs to improve your discipline and your consistency. So at the end of the day, this is to do with, let's say, the external factors, right? You can talk about nature versus nurture, kind of how society has wired you as an individual, and how all of a sudden you're going from environment where you are very easily capable of pointing the finger at external factors to actually this incubation where you're going to meet yourself a lot more, and you're going to come across yourself and your bad characteristics, your bad traits, and being able to then iron those out. That is the name of the game, and that is something that I want all of you guys to realize prior to going into more knowledge, and let's say me going into a little bit more videos and showcasing technicals and recaps, that I want to be pivotal in the mental aspect, right? The game that we want to play in the long run is severely based on how you as an individual will react to your own decision making at the end of the day.